Hello, you precious humans. I'm Jamie Dawn, your revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of August 15th through the 21st of 2021. And it's a big week. We've got a few planets making some movement. Mercury enters Virgo on the 11th, which happened last week, and Venus is moving into her home sign of Libra. That's on the 15th, 16th. And then we also have a full moon weekend ahead on Saturday night into Sunday morning. And this is the second full moon in Aquarius. So it's at the last degrees. The one we had in July was at the early degrees. So if there was a theme that came up for you, it may be revisited. And especially if it wasn't complete at that time or it triggered something new and unusual for you to kind of sit and chew on, maybe wrap your head around a new concept or idea, now comes the time where that can be completed. And there's some other really cool stuff that is happening as well this week. But before I dive into it, I just wanted to thank everybody for your patience and also for your flexibility with my schedule, as I was able to be of service in my staff director role with the Nine Gates Mystery School. And we had such an amazing 11 days of really beautiful, deep soul work, and also an opportunity to be able to shift individual consciousness so that it can affect the collective consciousness on a much greater level. So thank you again for liking, subscribing, sharing to these videos. And don't forget that my August horoscopes individually by sign are available as well on this channel. You can look at it from your sun, moon, and rising sign to get a complete picture. And I will also offer that it is a generalized reading. So if you want something more specific, please reach out and let's schedule some time. I do have right now about a 10 to 14 day booking period. So things are happening pretty fast. And yeah, so get in when you can. And in all of that being said, let's talk about, because I didn't do a celestial wisdom last week, let's talk about Mercury entering Virgo. And the thing with Mercury and Virgo is it rules Virgo, Mercury does, as well as it allows us to tap into more of the intellect in the truest sense of the word, that smart kind of feeling. And that we can take all this information, these connections and experiences, and put them into practical form of intelligence. And our reasoning process is usually, when Mercury's in Virgo, is careful, it's sharp, it has a way of being useful, because we want to take the information and we want to put it into practical, useful terms. That's the Virgo energy. And if you have Mercury in Virgo natally, you're really good at the details and seeing the fine print. And that is a huge benefit that we all can enjoy during the next couple of weeks, especially if we're looking at contracts, we're looking at maybe planning our future and saying, what are the things that we need to really plan for? And here are some things that we need to analyze, what's working, what's not working. It's beneficial in our relationships as well, because we're looking at it from, does this still serve? And am I showing up as that partner that I need to? So this is a really good opportunity to gather information for self-improvement. Now, the one thing we do have to be careful of is that we don't go into the perfectionism mindset, because there really is no such thing. But with this Virgo influence, we are looking at it from the detail level and saying, is it just right? I mean, I have this image of the artist who stands at his canvas or sculpture, and she's looking at it and she's adjusting it, and she's like, that's just not right. There's one little blemish here that we've got to fix. And you know what? In the greater sense of the word, if you're able to look at that little blemish, that imperfection, as the perfection, it's, as they say, and Rumi said this really well, the crack is where the light can enter. But if we're not careful, we could destroy the whole thing and start redoing it. And so we could reinvent a wheel that doesn't really need to be reinvented. And so when we look at it from a personal perspective in our relationships, or from a business perspective, or whatever it might be activated in your life, we don't want to do that metaphor of throwing out the baby with the bathwater, but that may be active right now, where it's like, you know what, if I'm not able to get this perfect, just screw it and I'll start over. And while that can have its benefits, it also can cause greater damage. And ultimately, it's not what you're looking for. The other thing with Mercury and Virgo, the shadow side that we have to watch for, is that negative self-talk, those narratives that come up to sabotage us, to say, I'm not good enough. I'm not able to show up and be perfect for this situation or this person, therefore I'm not worthy, or they're not going to want me, or whatever. Now, the light side of this Virgo energy is I have all these gifts. I have one particular thing that I do really well with great care, and how I can use it to be a great benefit and service. And that's the gift of the Virgo energy. So we get a choice. This is all I'm doing, is bringing in information to give you choices of influences that you may be sensing and feeling. So if you're getting triggered, that there's a narrative that pops up, that negative self-talk about you or your situation, use it, journal it, use it as an opportunity to create some form of art to process it, and then redo your story. You know, when it shows up, it's not there to harm you. It's there to point to a healing that can take place. Virgo is a very healing energy if we're willing to look at it. And it's a healing of the mind that then gets put into practical use. Now, Venus, let's talk about Venus as she enters her home sign of Libra. Venus also rules Taurus. So here she is entering the air sign of Libra on the 15th, 16th, depending on where we are in the world. And Venus rules over our attractions, our pleasures. It rules over our values, and as well as what we want to gain, the desire we want to gain through our material possessions and the things that comfort us. Venus also has a lot to do with beauty and harmony, especially when she's in Libra. Libra is the scales. It wants balance. Now, remember, we can't have peace without war. So we may attract situations and people into our lives that create a little bit of consternation for us, so that we can find that harmony and that we can blend the light with the shadow. Now, Libra also wants to foster unions and relationships. So that's going to be a big emphasis while Venus is in Libra, more so than usual. And so we may be seeking out advice or giving advice. We may be looking for, are our relationships balanced? Am I balanced within myself? And I like the word harmony better than balance, only because harmony feels more blended. Balance feels like either or. Now, we may feel as though we're doing that whole either or thing so that we can come into a place of harmony. So whatever situation may show up, and most likely it's triggered through romantic relationships or financial situations, it's to be able to implement and bring in more of that love and that higher wisdom that the higher vibration of Libra and Venus are trying to activate for us. Now, also, when Venus enters Libra, we're gifted with this sweet time of peace that highlights partnerships and our social life. You'll find that many people with a great Libra emphasis love to socialize. So most likely our social circles are going to get really active. And because Libra is so concerned with fairness and equality, anything that is imbalanced in our lives is going to stick out. And we are going to probably feel this Virgo energy with that critical eye, that detail, and then we're brought a situation that goes, this doesn't feel imbalanced. Now, what's the problem? And we start picking away to improve it. And really, it all comes back to, how do we respond? How do we deal with the situation in the highest and best, most loving way? It's also a time with Venus and Libra when we can attract to us that true love, that relationship, or that deepening of the bond that we have with somebody we're partnered with. It's especially emphasized this weekend. Let's talk about this full moon in Aquarius, because Saturn, Uranus, and Jupiter are involved, as well as Mars, as well as Venus. So all these personal planets and social planets are being activated, and they're being blessed. This, I feel, could be one of the most beneficial full moons of the year. Now, I say that tongue in cheek only because there's always a shadow side, and when there's a full moon, it heightens everything. And Jupiter is canoodling with the moon. Saturn gets to canoodle with the moon. So we're going to have this push and pull of expansion, contraction, blessings, and discipline. And we should feel really optimistic. There should be a feeling of abundance. And when it's coupled with discipline and mastery, we get long-term positive results. But that's the key, is that we want to have whatever shows up to work with from a place of positivity, and then being able to say, now, I don't want to rush this. How do I put certain pieces in place that are sustainable? This is the infrastructure that we want to build so that things last over time. Venus will be trining Saturn during this full moon. That means finding true love, commitment, long-standing love is really favored. So if you are single, get out and socialize. Venus and Libra will help to activate that. Connect with people. Let your family, your friends, whatever, set you up. Have those conversations. It should flow. Now, also, new budding romance with somebody could be somebody unusual. So if you're attracting or looking for somebody new and you're wanting to be in this romantic place, then look no further than the eccentric. You may be really surprised at how strong you feel about somebody you wouldn't normally feel attracted to. But this is that sense of soulmate connection. You know how you meet somebody and you're just like, I know you. Somehow, past life, whatever you want to call it, but there's that familiarity. There's that sense of friendliness and familiarness that shows up. And that's what I would say this weekend provides you. Mars is also going to be trying Uranus, giving us extra drive and willpower to create more freedom in our lives, that have exciting new experiences. We may have an experience that gives us this tangible result for long-term staying power. So this weekend, with this full moon, you couldn't ask for a friendlier, happier full moon if we're willing to stay present with it and keep our minds open. Allow ourselves to expand the mind, expand the vision. Don't get caught in the details. If a situation shows up that feels a little imbalanced, see it as an opportunity to bring in balance, bring in harmony, think out of the box. Aquarius loves to be eccentric and think out of the box. This is also a time, again, the shadow side of the full moon. It could activate that rebellious nature if we don't like something that's presented to us. But in that rebellion, maybe we can find solutions that we didn't think about before. And with Mars and Venus involved, it most likely is going to help, hopefully, with solutions in relationships, especially the romantic ones. And I will offer, if you're single and there is absolutely no one that you're interested in and you're not interested in dating, then this is a chance for you to really couple that soul and spirit together, that divine marriage that happens and should happen for all of us in the spiritual sense. So you could use this opportunity to be able to heighten your intuitive skills, allow yourself to meditate and receive all that wisdom that the universe wants to gift you, so that you can continue to blend the masculine and feminine so that you can have wholeness. And that's what we're working for, is wholeness. And that means that we don't dismiss the shadow, but that we work with integrating it, and we own it, we love it. And that's how we create greater love and wisdom for ourselves and for the collective consciousness. All right, you guys, I really hope this video helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. I want to hear how this week and full moon weekend builds up and gets released for you. I want to hear about these new romances or your connections that become deeper and more bonded, but also more light and social. All right, you guys, have a great week. Find me at jamiedawn.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Take care.